Okay, so this one was kind of mean of me, I admit that. Any common factors? No, they're not. This is 3 digits, so we're going to try to do this. What did you use for the first 2 digits? Okay. A lot of people do 2x times 2x is what their first instinct is. There's absolutely no way that'll work out. All the different combinations of 24, you got 1 and 24, 2 and 12, 3 and 8, 4 and 6. If I use 2x and 2x, none of them is going to give me the 95x. One has to be negative and one has to be positive, as you can see. So what we have to use is 4x times x. That'll still give me 4x squared. What'd you say? Negative 1 and positive 24. Good. So 4x times 24 is 96x. Negative 1 times x is negative 1x. Which does add to positive 95x. So that's what we want. How many of you got that to work? How many of you are on your way there, and if you had like another 2 hours, would have got there? Because that is usually the last combination. You know, people do the 2x and 2x, and they exhaust every combination. And of course, one's positive and one's negative, so they switch them. Before they eventually, some people don't see that you can do 4x and x. That was a tricky problem. That wasn't very nice of me, I promise. Okay. Then you just guess for these and you try them and see if they work.
I guess I forget that I'm trying to get the middle number.
Yep. You know, these two have to multiply to make the last number. It's a negative 24, so negative 1 and positive 24. But it could have been negative 2 and positive 12, or positive 2 and negative 12. There's a lot of different combinations that could have worked for that. We just got to try one and see if it gives us the middle number. And that's the tricky part, is there's a lot of different possibilities, but only one of them is going to give us that middle number. So let's do three x to the third plus 15x squared plus 18x. Looking at this one, what do we do first? There it is, common factor, which is 3x. So we're going to divide this by 3x. 3x to the third divided by 3x is x squared. Good. 15x squared divided by 3x, 5x. And 18x divided by 3x, positive 6. Now before, whenever we took out a common factor, we were done. Here we're not. This can still be split up. Now the 3x is still there, don't forget it. But now we're just splitting up the x squared plus 5x plus 6. So x squared is x plus x. What's the 6 going to become? Positive 2 and positive 3. Is that going to give me the 5x I need? Mm-hmm. Yes, it is. What's that? 1 times 6 would give you 7. Or 1 and 6 would give you a positive 7x in the middle there. If that were a negative 6, then negative 1 and positive 6 would have been what you wanted. Let's see here. Let's do 10x squared minus 15x minus, now I got to make one that's going to work. 70. Do that one in your notes. See if you can make it work out. What's our first step? Common factor, which is 5. So if we divide by 5, what are we going to get down here? 2x squared minus 3x minus 14. Good. So now the 5 doesn't change, but we're going to cut this into 2 factors. Obviously, going to be 2x into x. What's going to be the last ones? This is where you get stuck. They have to multiply to make a negative 14. So you've got 1 and 14. Yeah, these two have to multiply to make negative 14.
But they have to add up to be negative 3.
They have to add up to be negative 3, but they got to combine with the 2x and the x. So it's either going to be 1, now it's going to be a negative 1 times a positive 14, or a positive 1 times a negative 14, because it's a negative 14, right? Or a negative 2 times a positive 7, or a positive 2 times a negative 7. Let's try, well, and how do we know? We just try one. It's the only way we know. So we're going to pick one. Let's do negative 2 and positive 7. So we're going to try it. On the out, now this is where we check the outside. 2x times 7 is 14x. And on the inside, negative 2 times x, negative 2x, which gives us 12x. It's not the number we want, and it's not the opposite of the number we want. So that's not going to work. Yep, you can stop. So I'm going to switch the 7 and the 2. Before I go to the 14 and 1, I'm going to switch the 7 and the 2. So I'll put 7 here and 2 here. Now I'm going to check. 2x times 2 is 4x. Negative 7 times x, negative 7x. That adds up to make negative 3x. That's the one I want right there. So there it is.
Okay, so how come on the last one we did, we put 3x in front, but on this new one we put 5?
Okay. Because here there was x to the third, x squared, and x. There was an x that I could divide out. Here, there is no x in this last term, so I couldn't divide out an x, so it's just a 5. It's only the numbers. For a variable to be a common factor, remember, it has to appear in every term, every digit. Let's just do a few more different combinations. Might have to try that one quick. So if we look at this, are there any common factors? No. So we're going to give this a shot. So remember, this first one has to multiply to make this first piece. So what do those have to be? 2x and x. The last two have to multiply to make 15. Now it's a positive 15, which means they're either both positive or both negative. So I can do 1 times 15 or 3 times 5. Or negative 1 times negative 15 and negative 3 times negative 5. Which one do you want to try? 3 and 5? So I'm going to check it. 2x times 3 is 6x. 5 times x, 5x, which is 11x. That doesn't work, but I'm not going to scrap the 3 and 5 quite yet because these are different. This is 2x and x. They're not the same. So that means the position I put them in matters. So I'm going to flip them, put the 3 here and the 5 here. Now when I check them, 2x times 5, 10x. 3 times x, 3x. That does add up to 13x. So there it is. Cool. Try that one. So, common factor? Say no. Okay, good. So, we go to this. What do the first ones have to be again? 2x and x, okay? How about the last one? They have to multiply to make a negative 24. So that means one has to be positive and one has to be negative. Well, we got 1 and 24, 2 and 12, 3 and 8, and 4 and 6, right? Which one do you want to try? 3 and 8? Okay. This one here tells us that it has to be one positive and one negative. Yeah. Yeah. If this one's positive here, that tells you that they're both positive or both negative. In fact, if this one's positive, this one has more power. Because if this one's positive, this one tells you whether they're both positive or both negative. Because this one being negative would make them both negative. Now, this one being negative, there's got to be one of each. Okay, so let's try the negative, the 2x, the plus 3 and the negative 8. 2x times negative 8, negative 16x. 3 times x, 3x. Negative 13x. Now we could switch the signs, but will that help here? No, that would just make this a positive 13x. So let's switch the numbers. Put the 8 here and the 3 here. So now 2x times negative 3, negative 6. 8 times x, positive 8x, which gives us 2x. That's not going to work either, is it? Any other suggestions? 4 and 6. Let's try it. I'll put the 6 here and the 4 here. 2x times negative 4 is negative 8x. 6 times x is 6x. Gives us negative 2x. Not what we want. Switching the positive and negative won't help. Switch the 4 and the 6. Four here and the 6 here. So now on the outside, 2x times negative 6 is negative 12x. 4 times x is positive 4x, which is negative 8x. That's not what we want, and it's not the opposite of it either. Anybody get this one to work out?
No.
That's good, because it doesn't. Yeah. Can't factor that. How can you tell? Try every possibility, and when none of them work, it's not factorable. Yeah, I know. I didn't make this stuff up, I swear. This time, I screwed up last time. There wasn't a quiz. This time, there actually is a new quiz that is due tomorrow, Friday, by 11:59 p.m. What's that? I know. And there's a new homework. I think I might have let the homework be due on Tuesday, but if you don't, well, I'll give you till Thursday to do it. So Thursday's class to get the homework done. There is no school next Tuesday. No. Well, Tuesday and Wednesday, actually. There is school Monday and then Thursday and Friday.
On those quizzes that you opened,
Yep.
that I missed,